Mountain News this morning. An Eastern Kentucky organization is all about helping our region and launches a fund to help students affected by historic flooding. More groups from outside of Kentucky continue to make generous donations to help our region heal from disaster.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
It is Thursday. Good morning, August the 18th. Jim Freeman along. Glad you're along as we check in with Paige Noel, who's along this morning with our weather forecast. Hi, Paige.
Hi, good morning. It is a beautiful one out there. Besides the fog, but the fog can be kind of pretty at times. Yeah. At least those temperatures, though, are really nice out there. Once again, yesterday morning felt great. That's continuing as we head into this morning. A lot of us into the lower 60s, some lucky spots in those upper 50s this morning. It's 59 in Williamsburg to 62 though Manchester, 57 Wise, 61 Prestonsburg to Moorhead to 64 in Jackson, 61 there Somerset to a 61 here in Hazard. As we look outside though, yeah, you'll notice that really dense fog from Hazard all the way to Prestonsburg, so Johnson to Lawrence to Magoffin to Martin County, especially over to Logan, Mingo, and Wayne County as well. Right along with that, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia border, and then even down towards Tennessee. So be careful if you're headed out here in the next really couple of minutes, but really as we head to the next couple of hours, we're still dealing with this dense fog. It's sticking around between 6, 7, 8 o'clock. By closer to 9 or 10 though, we'll see that fog slowly dissipate and then those mostly sunny skies take over. If you're thinking about maybe heading out, getting the car washed, I know my car desperately needs it. If you want to get out and do it, today's, I would think, is the best day just because of the lower humidity, the cooler temperatures. Tomorrow, I think it's pretty good, especially if you're gonna do it earlier in the day. I would say by the time we get to the weekend, just maybe wait for some of that rain to move in because we are tracking on and off rain and storms starting this weekend and into early next week. All the latest track on that coming up.
Thanks, Paige. Well, it's been 3 weeks since historic flooding devastated our region, and people are still struggling to cope with the aftermath it left behind. In Letcher County, a man's livelihood was taken by floodwaters. 88-year-old Doug Adams just started his retirement from teaching at Letcher Central High School, but now he's living a nightmare as his art studio was flooded. His paintings and sculptures trashed, thousands of dollars lost. But as Emily Bennett shows us, for Adams, it's more than money. It's something that can never be replaced.
Walking down the streets of Whitesburg, you'll see a little bit of Doug Adams everywhere you look.
He is an icon when it comes to art here.
The 88-year-old artist brightening up the town with his murals.
I'm going to base this mural on that Daniel Boone.
Adams retired from teaching this year, ready to enjoy life in his art studio. But in just one day,
when I got up and looked out the window from my apartment, it was a river going down through there.
He lost a lifetime of work.
It's sad. It's almost like a funeral.
His paintings and sculptures tossed around the room.
Things that were on this side of the shop are now on this side of the shop.
Years of painstaking work, now sitting outside in trash bags.
I had paintings lined up all down this wall.
Over the years, he'd brought most of his work here. Now he's searching through what's left.
That is a $300 watercolor brush, ruined.
Figuring out what, if anything, is salvageable.
I'm not sure how much of that I can save till I start trying to put it back together.
His welders and equipment ruined.
I bet I lost $50,000 or $60,000.
His work was his retirement fund.
And I wanted to have a quantity of work that would be available for sale.
But it's so much more than money for Adams. It's the process of the art coming to life and the joy others get from his work. People like John Pellegrini, who has bought Adams's work for decades, displayed in his gallery downtown.
Everyone always looks to him when they want to talk about art.
Pellegrini says Adams is no stranger to this kind of loss. 40 years ago, losing an art studio to a fire, and he's certain Adams will once again start his collection over.
Well, it isn't easy to remake your life, and Doug has, for the second time, this time in his late 80s, been forced to rethink art and what he's going to do about the fact that a fire and then a flood took out his work.
Starting again at 88 years old.
You could sit and wring your hands and cry, but it won't help you any.
In Whitesburg, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
Thanks, Emily. Adams plans to do a painting on the flood. He says even though he grew up in Letcher County, he never saw flooding quite like what he saw in July. In Floyd County, the Flood Relief Operations Center has been serving people for weeks, giving cleaning supplies, food, and more to folks in need. With FEMA outside and donations and shelters set up inside, flood victims have been showing up to fill their cars with supplies as communities work to clean up and move forward. Volunteers and organizers of the relief center say they're seeing a lot of needs met thanks to the work of Neighbor Helping Neighbor.
It just more strongly for me, it's what we already know about these mountain folks that we all pull together when times get tough.
Organizers say the immediate cleaning supplies and more have been met, but a need for appliances and beds is still there. Shaping Our Appalachian Region, or SOAR, has launched the Eastern Kentucky Student Support Fund to help students affected by flooding. SOAR's executive director, Colby Hall, says the organization is working with public kindergarten through 12th grade school systems in FEMA-declared disaster counties. Officials will work with school resource centers to meet needs like school supplies, bedding, or gas cards for transportation to and from school.
We've got over 60 grand in it right now, so we're off to a really good start. We're starting to work with schools as they get to that phase to start to disperse these funds.
Made possible by donors, 100% of donations go towards students' needs. Hall says the fund will not be closed down until needs are met. Through every story of loss and heartbreak following the flood, there are even more stories of people offering hope to those who need it most. Giving hope and creating homes for people of Breathitt County, one North Carolina group donated 3 campers and a car to people impacted by the flood. Bakersville native Holly Whitson rallied alongside church groups and even an RV center in Johnson City, Tennessee to help make this mission possible.
Well, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this, so it really gives you a new perspective on life. Like, it makes you appreciate the simple things. You come up here and see that these people have lost everything they've ever worked for, so it really makes you appreciate what you really have.
This mission happened in partnership with the Breathitt County Hunger Alliance. Whitson says she believes it was God who helped open doors to make this project a success. The VFW has recently recognized a Pike County veteran for service to country, community, and fellow veterans. As part of their Still Serving campaign, Darian Hilton of the Pikeville VFW Post was recognized for hosting Veteran Dog Days at the Pound at the Pike County Animal Shelter, as well as co-hosting a Veterans Fellowship meeting called Second Six. He says these programs, as well as his work at the Pikeville Veterans Memorial Park, help veterans find camaraderie and provides a place for vets to give back to their communities.
The purpose of Still Serving is to try to get veterans to get involved with their communities and with veteran service organizations, okay, to get back to the brotherhood and the sisterhood that we had in the military. That's what Still Serving is about.
Hilton says it's important for veterans to reach out and join veteran service organizations like the VFW, DAV, and the like. The Kentucky State Fair kicks off today. Crews have been setting up booths and carnival rides the last few days. The fair runs through August 28th at the Expo Center at Louisville. American Idol winner and Eastern Kentucky native Noah Thompson will perform next Wednesday. Tickets start at $10. Just ahead this morning, police in Georgia investigate a burglary at a famous singer's home. We'll have more on that on the way next.
And we're talking more rain and storms by the end of the week and into the weekend. I'll tell you how much rain we could see coming up.